Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, we got a major update for you guys here today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So some big news dropped yesterday, and everybody and their grandmother has been sending it to me online. Hey, man, did you see the news about Shannon Sharpe? Did you see the news about Shannon Sharpe? And like, you're not going to go live? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not going to go live. Yesterday, we produced a lot of content. We've been producing a lot of content. And by the time that news came out, I was like, nah, I'll talk about it the next day. I'm too tired for this. But as you guys know, Shannon Sharpe found himself basically in this entanglement where he was being sued for $50 million. Prior to that, he was in the process of signing a $100 million contract for his podcast network. And then all of a sudden, this news dropped. He was being sued by some OnlyFans model. We later on found out that he had offered her $10 million to settle. She said no. Then some crazy, was it audio started coming out? Just kind of crazy stuff, right? And a lot of people felt like Shannon Sharpe was being taken advantage of. And hell, he himself said that. He then had some comments for the lawyer, Tony Busby, who was also the one that accused Jay-Z of some crazy stuff. He represented somebody that accused Jay-Z, of some crazy stuff. Then he was also had like, I think 100 people that filed lawsuits against Diddy. Those cases are just gone right now. So Tony Busby has been making headlines. So when Shannon said he was going to step away, we also heard that his goal was to be back before the start of NFL season. And at the time I was like, okay, well, we'll see. And then we got some news last week where it was some kind of confusing news that Shannon Sharpe's legal team got to the court, and the prosecution or the plaintiff, whatever, they didn't show up, and then Tony Busby had to put out a statement and all of that. So the situation had just kind of disappeared. I saw him pop back up on Club Shay Shay to do a show. So then this news started breaking all over the place yesterday that Shannon Sharpe had settled the lawsuit. And there are a few publications we want to read from. One of them is TMZ. Another one is from abcnews.com. But before we even get into what these reports had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60-plus states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm really looking forward to watching some of these NBA Summer League games. Here's what I like to do. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Okay, excellent. So let's get into the first one. It says, lawyer says lawsuit is over between ex-NFL star Shannon Sharpe and woman who accused him of R. Continues on. NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe has resolved the lawsuit that accused him of sexually assaulting a woman during their relationship, her attorney said Friday. All matters have been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. Tony Busby said on X, meaning the lawsuit can't be refiled. No details were released. The lawsuit had sought $50 million. Sharpe called the allegations false and disruptive. When the lawsuit was filed in April in Clark County, Nevada, he stepped away from work at ESPN at the time, but had pledged to return by the start of NFL season. A phone message seeking comment from Shannon Sharpe's attorney, David Shevnoff, wasn't immediately returned Friday. The woman first met Shannon. Okay, so you have that. Now, let me go to the other article that we're getting from TMZ. It says Shannon Sharpe settles R lawsuit, says Tony Busby. The attorney representing the woman accusing Shannon Sharpe of R said Friday both sides have agreed to a settlement in the civil case. Tony Busby announced in a statement on Instagram page that after protracted and respectful negotiations, Sharpe and his accuser reached a mutually agreed upon resolution, which essentially means that he paid her off. No word on the specifics of the couple's past, but Busby added all matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. A woman ID'd only as Jane Doe sued Sharpe back in April, alleging the NFL star brutally sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and beginning of 2025, following a year-long abusive relationship. The woman claimed that Sharpe. Okay, so y'all get that. What are my thoughts about all of this? Now, I've kind of heard some things what people are saying on the internet. There's some mixed reviews here. Some people are saying this is a mistake by Shannon Sharpe to settle because you're now going to put yourself in a situation that Diddy did, which was when he settled with Cassie, everybody and their grandmother jumped out with their hands out looking for a payday, right? All of a sudden, all these people came out. Why? Because they're like, oh, well, hell, this guy's willing to pay money. So let me go up here and say he did this to me, right? And this happens all the time. So you have that situation there. There are others that are like, thank God Shannon is he's in the clear now. He doesn't have to worry about this thing. This thing is behind him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where do I stand on all of this? First of all, I think that Shannon Sharpe wanted to get this matter behind him as quickly as possible. And as he mentioned in the language, I think it's from his attorney or himself, they called it disruptive. And it was disruptive, primarily to his career. Shannon Sharpe, prior to this, was a regular guest on ESPN First Take. We had also gotten some news that ESPN was thinking of giving him his own show. So looking at it from the standpoint of Shannon Sharpe, you would want this thing to go away quickly. And to be fair, he did so. Now, some people speculated that Shannon Sharpe was not going to return to ESPN. I was among some of those people. A few others were. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But thus far, this is a major win for him because this is no longer what's being discussed about Shannon Sharpe. The dark cloud is over his head. Like, I mean, it's been removed from over his head, right? So now he's a free man, so to speak. And what I anticipate happening is that I think Shannon Sharpe is going to be reinvigorated. I think that he may start getting back some of his sponsors because according to some reports, some people felt like some of his sponsors stepped away from his channel, from his podcast. I think he'll start getting his sponsors back now that his name is cleared. And I think that there's a very high chance that Shannon Sharpe will return to ESPN First Take. And I hope he does. Why? And I'll say this. I don't agree with everything that Shannon Sharpe has done, although I used to be a huge fan of his. But the fact of the matter is Shannon Sharpe works hard, right? He works very, very, very hard. And people that work hard and put in the hours and that are diligent should be rewarded. If not for anything, because the guy has the work ethic and he puts in the work. He's not where he is by chance. Like, the guy is actually good at what he does. And I've always said that I hope that he bounces back because he makes the sports media space much more interesting when he's a part of it. And you can also see just how much of a role television plays on how people are viewed in their social capital. Like, when you're on TV, you're really, really big. And then Shannon was one of those guys that was in a unique position where he was very big on TV and very big off of TV in the social media space. So my guess is that he's going to return to ESPN. I don't know if he's going to get his own show. I don't know anything about that, but I think he's going to return to ESPN. He most likely will be a regular guest again on ESPN First Take because this is no longer going to be a discussion point. It's done. It's over with, right? So congratulations to Shannon Sharpe and his team. We're happy to see him back. I hope that he comes back, keeps doing well, makes a lot of money for himself, and just tries to stay clear from these kind of things. Because a lot of people are upset with Shannon because they're like, bro, you got to understand your position. You just can't be messing with any kind of riffraff. And what he found himself was in a situation where he was dealing with riffraff. You know, they're women of higher caliber that they won't be doing this kind of nonsense to you. So you find yourself associating with these type of women. You lie down with dogs, you're going to catch fleas, right? You lie down with dogs, you're going to catch fleas. And a lot of people are like, bro, you got to understand who you are. At the time, Shannon Sharpe was one of the top 3-5 biggest people in sports media. So happy for him. Congratulations for him. Wishing him all the best. And I hope he goes on to still have a strong career and makes as much money as he can. Good luck to Shannon Sharpe. Congratulations to him. These are my thoughts on it. Catch you on the next show. Peace.